We're back at it. We were just talking backstage. We're doing a lot of podcasts in a short amount of time. Gotta love the holidays. And at the time of the recording, it's a little after Christmas. But at the time this is released, it's almost New Year. So, hey, maybe you got some big goals in 2025. But as the Body Wrong episode was, New Year, new me, question mark? Probably, because you got the same old dudes, but a new year. And the voice you're hearing is me, is Matt. Spirit Laws, and joining me is Yo-Yo King Burley.
Yo. I'm going super sober 2025.
Super sober. Ooh, that
Super
sounds like
sober.
a super soaker.
Yeah.
Super sober.
Super sober, dude. I just
New
coined it.
T-shirt.
Copyright Burley.
New T-shirt idea. Super sober. I bet you that'd do well.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Super sober. Let me do this face.
Ooh.
That and that.
Let's see. I just stood it in there. They're Stay Sober T-shirts, and then there's The Sober Life. That looks like a brand that I'm surprised that they haven't came at them, because I know some cease and desist from some people that have tried to do something like that in the beard world. So that's the new idea we're going to come up with. If you guys want one, we're going to do... there's somebody that did like the Super Soaker, but did I'm Super Sober, but not just Super Sober.
Also, has anybody ever done like the Sobe brand with an R at the end?
Ooh. See, I
remember Sobe? Is Sobe still a thing?
Yeah. I don't know. I was never...
When was the last time you saw a Sobe anywhere, dude?
Yeah.
I'm getting off topic, but...
That's the T brand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It had like a lizard on it, right?
South Beach? Is that what it stood for?
I had no idea. I don't know that I've ever even actually had a Sobe.
I don't think so. I remember seeing it, but I think it's... I don't know. I think they're gone. I think it's South Beach. But speaking of beaches, Mars. Not the candy bar. Not the thing. But Mars is in the news. For the good. For the bad. I don't know. It's everywhere. And we said, you know what? Let's talk about it. Did we find some really cool stuff about Mars, potentially? Did we potentially see why CIA is throwing some stuff out there? And again, this isn't a movie plot. This isn't clickbait. There is some weird timing with all of these drones, in my opinion. A lot of drones, and is the CIA all of a sudden releasing information to maybe say, hey, look over here. Let's forget about the drones.
Have we made enough noise so the CIA is finally like, we'll give you something to talk about? And they drop this bomb on you?
And for anybody that doesn't know, we're going to break some stuff down. We're gonna try to stay a little more on point in this episode. It's all new to us. You know, we've done our time traveling. Now we're trying to do a little bit something different. So it's new to us. We're gonna try our best. But the CIA, more or less, has been sitting on some information about Mars. Weird. The CIA sitting on some information, Burley? Is it real?
Well, is it? Why wouldn't it work? Never works when I want to. It's going to work in 3 seconds. Yeah.
There it is.
It's always a delay, dude. Come on.
Always.
Scully's back, baby.
Scully's back and Mulder. I should have introduced us as that. But like I said, why now? What are they hiding? And we've sifted through some, I guess, technically declassified documents. And we're going to dive into some pretty interesting, bizarre stuff. And what I love about this is, obviously, we're not experts. We don't even try to play one on TV. But this is some information that we found on the internet, that we taught ourselves about it. And we're finding that we're really into finding out about some new stuff, even with some potential new goals. Reading 10 pages every day in new books. It's nonfiction.
Hashtag 75 hard. Let's go.
Hey, why wouldn't they do 69 hard?
I might do that.
There we go. But actually, let's go into this. The truth about the red planet.
Before we start, everybody in your heads just kind of envision as a yes or no question. Do you believe? And then I want you to ask you that same question at the end of the show. Do you believe? All right, so be thinking about that the whole show.
There we go.
I think you want to believe.
I would love to believe. And we're talking Mars, so maybe there's some people that, grew up in some terrible school districts, don't really know about Mars.
This guy.
Not a great district.
I mean, there was no district. It was private school, and everything had a spin on it. So there was a real hard religious spin on everything I did.
Okay. Well.
Evolution is not real. Jesus said, let's go. You know, he basically he broke at the
Zip.
beginning of the game, and that's where the planets aligned. You know,
Oh.
so solids and stripes down the line, and Pluto's no longer a planet. So
Yeah, but Uranus is, and so is Mars. So for
yes,
anybody that doesn't know, you know, what is it? How did they Vemschnap or something like that? I forget the saying. There's an acronym or something for the planets. I don't remember that. But Mars,
Venus. That's not right.
Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I don't know whatever that is. There was a saying. I don't remember it, so obviously my teachers let me down. But Mars is 4. All right, 4th, and they do it from the sun, obviously. And Mars has the orange, reddish, you know, whatever it is,
The red
surface.
planet, dude.
It's the red planet because
it's essentially rust, dude.
right.
It really is.
Yeah, it's iron oxide dust.
Yeah. Imagine breathing rust.
Mm.
What is Elon talking about, dude? I don't want to live there.
That'd be a hell of a band name, Breathing Rust. Ooh,
Write that down.
anybody, write that down.
Write that down. That's ours. That's ours.
That's our new band, Breathing Rust, baby.
You can buy it from us. Yeah,
Ooh, next
something.
T-shirt, Breathing Rust.
Yeah, breathing rust would, dude. Here's another thing I don't understand about Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, it has a desert temperatures of like. Oh, hold on.
No, the other way.
Huh?
The other way.
Yeah,
It's cold.
I didn't notice the negative. I saw 80 degrees, and I'm like, that ain't bad.
Mars is pretty good.
Because if you apparently from what I read, if you had like a bowl of water, there's something going on in the atmosphere of Mars to where it would try to both evaporate and freeze at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
One of them will win out, but you don't know which one. Explain that. How does how would it evaporate and freeze at the same time?
Because you've never lived in an area where it's so cold you could just take the water, throw it out, and it evaporates. I don't know how it could then evaporate and freeze. Everything around you is going to be frozen because it's so cold. But said moisture, when you throw it in the air, how it works, it's just so good. Like, it's negative. Negative 80 is ridiculous. We've gone at least 40 days before where the temperature was never above 0. But nah, the coldest I think I've ever personally been outside in was probably like negative 40.
Is this colder than anywhere on Earth?
Mars?
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be, I would imagine. Maybe the Antarctica and some, of those get really, really cold, but this is negative 80 without the wind chill, which I'm going to tell you right now, whether it's negative 10, 20, 30, 40, it is miserable. It's, as a human walking around out there, no, there is obviously reasons why we can't get there, and obviously inanimate objects, the wind chill is irrelevant, but it's cold.
I'm trying to look up what the actual wind chill temperature in Mars is. The average temperature on Mars is negative 63 Celsius compared to Earth's 14 degrees Celsius in the tropics. Okay. Not telling me. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, there he is.
Winds on Mars can blow up to 62 miles an hour. However, the atmosphere is so thin that you would barely notice this buffeting a space. However, the atmosphere is so thin that you would barely notice this buffeting a spacesuit. Huh?
So, because the atmosphere is so thin, it doesn't have like the moisture and all the stuff like we have in the air, like the humidity and all that stuff. So it's going to be so thin that while you're rocking, obviously you have to wear a spacesuit. You're not going to feel the difference from temperature with the wind.
And I want to knock out one more thing while we're talking about the basics of Mars before we move on.
Yeah.
How much gravity does it have?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay. So Earth is 9.807 m/s squared, mass times something squared, maybe? What's m/s squared?
That sounds like an Einstein thing. What is m/s squared? Meter per second squared.
Okay, well, Earth is 9.8, where Mars is 3.7. The moon is 1.6. Holy crap, if we ever went to Jupiter, we become pancakes. Jupiter's gravity is 24.79.
Wow.
I don't know.
So
That's
M,
not, I mean,
so
we
M
would just feel
slash,
like we're heavy. Yeah.
yeah, it's the unit of acceleration. So it's the rate of change of velocity and displacement. So how you get, yeah, that. So I mean, that's not too far off, but still far off Mars is. Okay.
Okay. So sounds like we'd be able to jump, 2 times higher on Mars than we can here.
We'd have to go fast because it is a cold desert. And we wouldn't be able to last in that for very long, especially unless even if you got the warmest stuff, equipment, that's pretty goddamn cold. And if that's the average, there's places way colder.
We should just do an entire episode of this show where we make up things on how we would terraform Mars. But
Ooh.
just play it straight.
Yeah.
Anywho, how long till people realize we're dumb?
Probably about 11 minutes ago. We are 11 minutes into the episode. But
All right, let's get
Mars,
into the spicy
you know what
stuff.
I mean? It was reported that, a long time ago, Mars was much different. As of, Earth, it was also a lot different as well. And, a winter wonderland on the old red planet was actually recorded somewhat recently, which is pretty wild as well, because you're thinking red, all this, rust and everything. And it was just looking like, a scene from, a winter catalog.
It takes moisture to rust, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rusty.
Problem solved.
Boom.
There was
Insert
water.
Rust sponsor now.
Yeah, dude. Rusty's Rust Bowl. Yeah, that's a good one.
What is it? CLR. We don't have any of those. But there's evidence from Mars, like the Mars rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance suggest that the planet once had a very thick atmosphere, that there was liquid, maybe some water on the surface of it. Maybe there was even lakes and oceans. There was clay mineral that was actually found by said rovers, that if you had some clay, guess what? There was water and rocks, and there's potential conditions for life. But Mars does have pretty dramatic weather, from the dust storms that can engulf an entire planet for weeks. Kind of like, hey, up in Alaska, they can go months without the sun, and there's still stuff living up there. Why you would live up there, I don't know, but I say that about where I live.
Yeah, Alaska is basically Mars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Where you live is basically Mars to me. I don't know.
It feels like it potentially could. And obviously these are fueled because of the thin atmosphere that we already talked about, the low gravity, which we just learned about. And it's one of the most extreme places in the whole solar system, they say.
And as these rover pictures have come out, if you believe they're really there.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe?
There's been some wild stuff to come out. You remember the faces and the rocks and things like that?
Yep.
I'm looking at a few of them. See, here's the deal. Is when you pull these things up, how do you know what's real and what's not? Because NASA's not going to post any of this cool stuff. So now we're having to judge or, base all these quote unquote facts off of someone like me that's uploading things on the internet. Hey,
yeah.
You seen this? You heard about this?
It's kind of though how we jumped into this entire episode. We saw something on the internet. We started seeing some reports.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, let's jump into this. And again, not if we're learning, sometimes learning on the fly, then you're going to learn as well, which is pretty cool. I guess you mentioned though the CIA, the remote viewing, all that stuff. We can jump right into the next kind of segment that we have if you want.
I do want to mention one thing about how the surface of Mars before we get into the spiciness. One thing, scroll down to the bottom of the map or the page. Look, you see the word Olympus Mons.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's hyperlinked. That is an active volcano on Mars. And just so you have an idea, if you want to show a picture of it, the size of this thing is so massive. And they broke this down on what I was reading. if you were standing at the top of that volcano, right,
Mm-hmm.
we're right near the hole, the the size of this volcano is so large, you would not think that you were on a mountain. You would think you were just on the base level because you can't see the end of it. That's how large the base or the top of that mountain is. You wouldn't be able to tell that you're on a mountain.
Wild.
It's that large. It's gigantic. It's crazy.
That's
Pretty wild.
Yeah,
Try to put that in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 13.6 miles high, nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest.
If you were to compare it, if you were to take Hawaii, take it all the way down to the ocean floor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
From Hawaii down to the ocean floor, way down there, and then mark that spot, the ocean floor, and then you mark the top of Everest. That distance looks like nothing compared to this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
And they're saying it's because the lack of the tectonic plate movements, which actually allows lava to just continually build up in one location over millions of years. It's almost like having a pimple that you can't really pop, and and don't get multiple ones as a teenager. You just get one, and it just bigger, 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 bigger.
Is that what melted the?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? CIA. What the CIA say? What the CIA say, Dave?
We'll know when it's way past probably our time when they start releasing things, or when something else crazy happens.
So
That's
people
crazy.
were complaining enough that what do you think made the CIA drop this information that we haven't said yet?
I don't.
Nothing.
That's the thing. I don't. It's funny because it was declassified, like we mentioned in 2017, and then all of a sudden it was leaked, from what I understand. So I don't know why it was leaked. Was it on accident? Was it on purpose?
How recent?
Was it leaked at the time of the recording within a week? So I'm talking right around Christmas time.
Right around drone time. Right around all this talk about aliens. Are they trying to soften the blow whenever they finally drop something on us that's about to really be bad?
Maybe it's like okay, listen, there potentially could be life on Mars. Maybe there is life on Mars. Maybe that's where the drones are coming from.
I don't want to be that guy, but we're here.
We're here.
What if we've been terraforming Mars this whole time? And we know something bad is coming. Apparently, they just had a giant meeting at one of those big observatories. What if they know that a comet's on the way?
Not the reindeer.
Yeah, he came and went fast, dog.
Mm-hmm.
They know something big's about that. Maybe a comet, maybe it's an asteroid, whatever it is. I don't even know the difference between those two. Let's be honest here. But that's how they're going to let us know that, oh, we can go here, but only the richest are going.
Oh, interesting.
That'd be wild, bro.
That'd be a wild thing.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying this whole thing is wild to me with Mars, because I guess going into it, like I've never thought that we could go and live on Mars, but it's so big and vast that maybe something did live on there. And there's so many theories out there that we're going to get into. We might as well just start.
Yeah, from a young age, I've always felt like we could go somewhere. I mean, but we've always been trained that too. Star Trek, Star Wars, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do you got, dude?
So the whole thing.
Get on down.
Like I said, I've read some articles, and a lot of it potentially seems to be a little bit of clickbait. But in 1984, there was an incident. There was the whole leak. In the 1980s, the CIA, which for anybody who doesn't know is the Central Intelligence Agency, they decided to use Project Stargate, which is to train human subjects to do what they determined is remote viewing. This is a time before Zoom and COVID where you could work remotely. Part of their goal was to gather information about global affairs. So they thought that they could use potentially some kind of, frequency, some, pseudoscience to not only gather information about things that are going on, maybe because this is during the Cold War, They thought that they could use this to maybe gain intelligence through this, frequency and time travel and everything
Find
else,
out if
whatever you call
Gorbachev was cheating on his girlfriend.
it.
Global affairs, get it?
This mind reading technique. They use psychokinesis. How'd you say that big word?
Psychokinetic.
Yeah,
Kinesis.
kinesis. It was on the
Telekinesis.
briefcase the whole time.
Telekinesis.
Paranormal phenomenon, espionage, I can't speak.
Telepathy.
Got my tongue. Telepathy. They tried all this stuff in there, but also because of the Cold War, the wars, and everything else, they decided to do it in Mars to see what was going on in the old Mars. And what they found, and what this person, the results of this test was pretty wild, to say the least.
Is this all based on one person's test,
a particular human subject? From which
name is redacted.
Didn't see any name involved.
Spooky. Bing,
And
boom, boom.
I think instantly our brain and everybody else goes, it's stupid. You can't take it from one person in this weird little trip, whatever. But let's keep a mind open on this. I mean, let's throw out Aaron Rodgers, because when you talk about him, you get a little boost in the episode. He does the ayahuasca stuff, and it's opened up a lot for not only him and his people. I don't know if you guys saw the documentary. We're not going to go on that. But hey, there's certain things. Maybe there is this other dimension. Maybe there is a way.
As somebody who has partaken in these medicines, as they say, I've watched Avatar and can confirm I could see through the CGI. I was looking at people. I promise you, in my head, I saw just people, not blue cats. All right, I'm letting you know now. So
part of this remote viewing, they did it. It was the Mars exploration, May 22nd, 1984, also known as Uncovering the Red Planet's Mystery. It took this particular human subject who was seemingly exposed to binaural beats and hemisync audio that allowed them to psychologically transport to Mars in altered states of consciousness.
Spell that?
With enhanced psychic abilities. So binaural, B-I-N-A-U-R-A-L, beats and hemisync audio.
All right, we got to hear what this sounds like.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like playing Led Zeppelin backwards.
Yeah. I don't know what this is, so I don't want to catch a strike. But there's 40 hertz, 3.2 hertz.
Yep.
Okay.
It's interesting, right?
I have some of these extracurricular chocolates in my refrigerator right behind me, and I'm about to get into hertz, bro. I'm about to get deep into this. Let's go.
Ooh, we're going to call you Jalen Hurts when we're all done with this.
Ooh, I like that wordplay, Yuma.
So on this magical trip, want to call it a trip, an adventure? Carpet ride, and the magic carpet ride. Apparently this witness was able to see a yellowish ochre-colored pyramid or pyramid form, along with monuments that are similar to ones that are in ancient Egypt, severe clouds, very large roads, and a perception of a shadow of people. Apparently there is a quote, and I'm looking at something that's just sportskita.com in this pop cultural reference thing. I just keep seeing very large people. They appear thin and tall, but they are very large, and they're wearing some very kind of strange clothes, he kept reportedly claiming.
Whoa.
All right. And
when you think of giant, how giant are you thinking?
First thing that pops in my brain is 13 feet. I don't know why.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big.
Like anything
it's giant.
Anything bigger than like Shaq is. And Shaq's a giant, let's be honest here.
He's pretty big. But I don't know, just
this kind of backs up what the dude says right here, dude. Hold on. We have obelisks, dude. They've found an obelisk on Mars, or what they think is an obelisk.
What they think is, yeah. But and it's wild because according to seeing these very large people, ooh, look at that. What is it?
They're trying to say it's a boulder, but no, dude, that's an obelisk.
Yeah, that's not a boulder.
That's what your boy was talking about, the pillars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So this guy not only sees what appear to be pyramids and sculptures and stuff that were in Egypt, and let's be honest, this is in 1984. This guy sees some things, hears some things, I get it. But what's crazy is that these very large people, according to this person, were actually looking for a new place to live because their environment was corrupted. And Mars was also described as very hostile and alleged fierce storms, which we know that are there, and compelled the alleged natives to take shelter in these pyramids. That's why they were built, because they could withstand these crazy storms, and they use them for hibernation and survival. And this is even more awesome or wild, that they had huge vessels that were large boat-like, and they actually used these to move out their homes and find a volatile, vegetation-rich land. And the study also seemingly surmised that the decay of Mars mirrored the unpredictable and fragile future of Earth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And not only was Project Stargate obviously used just for this, and not to go more into this, but it was actually studies that were done from 77 to 95. So they had a ton of different humans, different things. They were doing, extrasensory perception. They were able to, assist in gathering domestic and international intelligence. Besides Mars, it also reportedly helped locate hostages, like successfully use this technology to find hostages and track fugitives.
I want to float something out there real quick, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Would you say that person on the right is a giant
I would say so, yeah.
versus those other people? Mm-hmm. That's the Anunnaki, dude.
Mm.
Very interesting now that we think about it, because they were, yeah, okay. All right. I like this. I like where this is going. Far, I believe this guy.
And like I said, and the reason why I threw in that last little tidbit was because it's not just Mars. Mars was one thing. For me, it's wild that they have some kind of this technology, but then it stops in the 90s. So maybe we should dig a little bit more into a future episode of just this project.
It stops.
Yeah, we're able to do this. Granted, technology has advanced. Maybe they took some of the practices and whatever. But again, in the mid-90s, it stops because researchers surmised that Project Stargate wasn't useful. It wasn't convincing. It wasn't overall seen as successful in gathering information. Apparently, there was a guy named Ray Hyman noted that despite certain observations being compelling, remote viewing wasn't real.
That's,
Which...
I don't know about remote viewing sober, but I think that there is possible. Didn't you just tell me about dimensions, dude? Didn't we just get Willow, the Google Willow? Okay. Come on now.
And like I said, the DIA, CIA...
you know what I think about Hyman, dude? That guy?
What do you think?
I want to bust him, dude. Get out of here.
Get out of here. But what's wild too, even all these documents and stuff, why are they all of a sudden being declassified? If it's just, it doesn't work, it's not good, it's not working, let's just declassify it, which was this May 1984 Mars stuff again, and then 2017 that happens, and then all of a sudden we get a little bit of a... what's wild too, they're even doing, still research on Mars. It's always being done. We don't always hear about it, but there was evidence... While direct evidence of life on Mars is still under research, there was apparently meltwater beneath Martian ice could support microbial life. And this was a report in October of 2024 by NASA that they have found some stuff, which is going to be a little bit some more in some conversation. But let's keep in mind that we're going to get into this. They think that there's life below Mars.
That makes, and I could have swore I remember a report like they might have found a bacteria or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I have this question because I read numerous things today. They kept specifically saying water ice together. What other ice is there?
That's all. It doesn't ice come from water.
It kept saying water ice numerous times, not just,
Well,
and
maybe
underneath the
space ice.
surface.
Isn't there like buildup of ice type stuff that happens in space, but there's not really water, so it's not water ice? I'm throwing this out there, but
Dude, this is why the comments on TikTok are like, are these guys just coming up with the dumbest questions and acting like they don't know? Nah, dude, this is bad.
Yeah. Well, so while you're looking that up too, there was one other little bit of a just quote that this guy. I mean, that they're seeing shelters and they're seeing ceremonial stuff that is underground.
By the way,
Where?
what do you think dry ice is?
Moisturize.
It's just carbon dioxide, solid carbon dioxide.
And there's probably a lot of carbon dioxide, not oxygen out there.
There's medium density amorphous ice, MDA, high density amorphous ice, HDA, low density and LDA. Yeah, I just typed in what are the types of ice other than water. Yeah. Well, we're dumb.
We're dumb. I don't think anybody's going to not. That's the first thing everybody's going to agree with. Okay, well, there's an educational show. Now we're educated. There is
be
more
educating yourselves, playboy.
Playboy. I don't know. Want to get into some conspiracy stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's good. So, like you mentioned this earlier. You got the face on Mars, right? I mean, that's been a thing that's been all over there. I think every single person have heard of the face on Mars. I don't know if you still have that notes up. I guess just for anybody that hasn't heard of what what the face on Mars actually is.
Let me scroll back up. Why did it stop?
Why did it stop? But I mean, not only the face on Mars, but the pyramid-like structures is an intriguing thing to me as well. I mean,
let's not forget about the keyholes,
and then the keyholes, which is something I didn't know anything about that Burley brought to my attention. That is
keyholes is fun. There's the face.
There is the face. Do you see it as a face?
What is this guy?
What's that guy just doing? I love everybody's like, well, your eyes can see anything. It's like, I'll tell you what, I've been on this planet for about 40 years. My eyes see things, and sometimes they're not real, but most of the time, you see what you see. And, I mean, then you had NASA's Viking 1 orbiter snap the photo of the, some region on there in 76, and that's when old face.
That's what I wanted to show you. You want to get in the conspiracy theory? Here we go.
Yeah.
Mars rover. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like this.
I'm in it.
Where is it at? There's a picture that they show side by side with like some place in Algeria, and then the place where the Mars rover took a picture. It's the same. Yeah, hold on. Let me find it.
I mean, you'd have to, though. I mean, you could go down enough research and see an area that potentially looks like another area. I don't know. The face on Mars, though, while you're looking that up, they said that it was 1.2 miles long and half a mile wide. I mean, that's the math I can't do.
Mars on the left, Egypt on the right.
Yep. I mean, all the stuff in front doesn't look like it belongs.
I've been looking at a lot of real estate lately. Mm-hmm. And in these homes that people clearly have moved out of, the realtors tend to just Photoshop in some furniture so they can give you an idea of what the space looks like.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like on
about
Amazon.
As real as that. Yeah, looks about as real as that.
Yeah. Shout out to the guy that potentially was paid to Photoshop that back in the 70s, 80s, though, because it was a lot harder to sneak objects into pictures back then.
When did we get to Mars? I feel like that happened in our lifetime.
When did we get to Mars? Like the rover?
When did the rover hit Mars? That happened in our lifetime, huh?
No, it was. Well, I mean, has there been since? Yeah, but I mean, when it first did, it was the 70s.
What?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was the first one, but definitely there was 76 is when
rover?
Viking. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let's just say first U.S. trip to Mars. 60. Yeah, right here. The first successful U.S. trip to Mars was the Viking 1 mission, which landed on the planet on June 19th, 1976. It was part of a 2-part mission that included the Viking 2.
So you're telling me we landed on the moon in 69, decided we're done with that, going to Mars now. That's no small feat, dude.
That is. That's some shack-size feet, some big
How
old feet.
long did it take to get to Mars in 1976?
It was launched August 20th, 1975, traveled 420 miles, funny number, over 11 months. The Viking 1 and 2 were each made of two parts.
Say that
An
number again.
orbiter,
420 miles?
million.
Okay.
Did I forget million?
You left off million. That's why the glasses came up.
We should throw that in there. 420 million
Yeah,
miles.
I was about to say, are we that close? I feel
We're
like
pretty
I should be able to
close.
see it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think from where I live to where you live is more than 420 miles, but I'm not good at math. Sorry about that, everybody. 400. I'm gonna editor just cut that out, and then we'll mix it. We'll look smart.
Yeah, we're gonna look smart as hell after this, dude. Wait to see these keyholes, dude.
But
I know more about these keyholes than you.
and what's wild to me, we're in 70s. Technology isn't obviously as good as it is. They had a goal. Viking 1 goal was to search for life. Like, hey, we're going all the way to Mars. We're going to find some life. And we're going to, use biology and this robotic arm. We're going to get some soil samples, this and that. And then it was just there to take some pictures as well and just kind of study the planet. Like, that's why Viking 1 did what it did. You don't think we could have came up with a better name than Viking 1 and 2?
I don't know. Vikings are pretty sweet, dude.
It's pretty cool. I guess
we
they get
just
the
kind of
mission
show up and this is ours now. Kind of the American way, dude. It's low key. This is mine now.
Yep. Mars
Want to
is
fight
ours.
over it?
And then we're going to name a chocolate bar after it.
We legit have a space force.
That's pretty sweet.
Pretty freaking cool, dude.
It is. So we're still in the conspiracy stuff. So obviously there's that. We talked about the face. Apparently in like the 98 to 2000 range, NASA's Mars Global Surveyor captured higher resolution images of said face, revealing it to be a mesa.
A table?
Cool. I was going to say, isn't that what a mesa is? I was wondering, like, what's a mesa? A mesa is... Oh, it's the isolated flat top hill with steep sides is found. Like kind of the picture you showed.
Like a table.
Pretty much messes. Yeah, like a table.
Hey!
And in my favorite one, what is it? Butte, but it's really butt. That's how I say B-U-T-T-E. It's kind of like those. It's in between a plateau and a butt, or a butte.
A butte.
So yeah, like we see them all. You see the images and stuff like that. So that's what they're saying. It really was after all of these years.
But listen, dude, that's what they want you to think. Where'd you read that in the library? Stupid. Stupid, dude.
La biblioteca.
Yeah. Get my
and then
news
they were saying,
YouTube, dude. Let's go.
we got the pyramids, right? They're all there. But hey, know what they said? The pyramids, they're just natural formations. I mean, pyramids, they ended up they end up being natural, right? I mean,
oh yeah, they just happen around the world. They're kind of lined up, not perfectly, but pretty close. And then they're only like slightly off from being perfectly northeast, west, and all that stuff. But
yeah, I mean, just naturally.
Hey, dude, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
I've heard that in a song before. But yeah. Again, just theories. We're just throwing stuff out there. But even more compelling is the theory that these structures, they do, like you mentioned, they align with astronomical patterns, echoing the pyramids of what is it, Giza? Gaza? G-I-Z-A is Gaza? I don't like her spelling. I would have called it Giza.
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 Oh, I think you're talking about God. Huh?
I don't know.
The Egyptians, dude, they worship cats. Come on.
Kind of like
give
pizza.
them a break.
Giza. Anyways, could ancient Martians really have shared knowledge with early civilizations on Earth? Or was it the same civilization that built on both?
I think...
Coincidence?
No, there's no coincidence, dude.
Can't be.
No.
Can't be.
I forget what Yoda said about coincidence, but something. He knew he was an alien. Come on now.
Right, he knew.
Put 2 and 5 together now. Let's go. Yeah, and knowing what we know now, but 5 years ago, I'd have been like, I mean, we're probably not alone, but I don't think we've been visited. Now the government's saying we've been visited. I'm like, I don't think anything's possible now, dude. Let's go. So
weird. Yeah, but I mean, in any of the studies too of the Martians, about
yeah, dude.
They reveal the pyramid. I mean, pyramids, pyramids, pyramids. I want to do so many episodes, but we got pyramids on Mars.
What
Yeah.
is the significance of a pyramid, dude? I want to go peep out one of these pyramids, dude, like in Giza. Yeah, Great Pyramid of Giza.
Let's road
Giza.
trip.
Yeah, I would no, dude. I've heard it's just like a scam city, dude. You're just getting ran up on by people trying to sell you crap the whole time. You're getting pickpocketed, yada yada. That's what I don't
bring
want to deal
security. We'll get Goop back on the show. He's security as well.
with. When I win the lottery, I'm just gonna buy a pyramid. Then we're gonna look into it. And you're like, why would you buy a pyramid? And I'm like, I'm looking into it. And then I'll just leave it at that. T-shirt. I'm looking into it.
It's a write-off.
Yeah, I'm trying to believe, dude. I'm doing business as. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what is the significance of them? Like, all the jewels and stuff are gone. I know Brendan Fraser isn't real. What is going on inside? What's the big whoop, as the kids say?
And a lot of stuff that I've read too is the reason that all the jewels and everything are gone is because there is some kind of, not committee, but there's some kind of organization that when things are uncovered and found in these places from archaeologists and everything, or, this person just happened to be going through a jungle and they've, come against these ancient ruins, all of a sudden this organization comes in and they kind of take over. And then not only are the jewels and stuff gone, but next thing you know, the statues and the faces, you see a weird pattern of why all of the faces have been destroyed naturally?
Now, hear me out.
They're hiding something.
Hear me out, Matt. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
What's your prediction before I say it? See if we're on the same page. See Mulder and Scully molding together, dude. There we go.
My brain says something about a sphinx or a sphincter.
No. What do you think this organization is that moves there? What do you think it is?
One of the names, I thought it was like Nerco or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, they actually have names and stuff. Okay,
I think they do, yeah.
I was thinking the Vatican, dude.
Oh.
Let's get the Crusaders involved, huh? The Brotherhood of whatever they're called, huh? What are they called?
Yeah.
With the cross and the...
Oh, the Templar?
Knights Templar, dude.
Yeah.
Let's get them involved. I bet you they're part of it.
Maybe this is just the new one.
If someone was willing to start a world war and raid the Vatican and just see what's down there, dude, I bet we'd find some things, dude. Like, push the little boys aside. I want to see the things, dude. Let's go. Speaking of things, these keyholes, I keep edging the crowd on. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So here's one that has been found on Mars, right? Looks kind of like a keyhole, right? Turn it upside down, obviously, right?
Yeah.
All right. They look a lot like what are called Kafun tombs.
You call me?
Kafun tombs in China. There's tons of them in Japan. Tons of them in Japan. I'm going to pull it up while I talk about it for a second.
Yeah, they're pretty similar.
These have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. They've been like royalty and stuff got these types of things.
That's the 5th century. So, that's a long ass time ago.
The funny thing is they didn't have any way to go up this high and look at it. Why? Why is it made in this shape? Okay, so there's a bit of a story behind it. I guess let me close my...
Oh, I like stories.
Bit of a story behind this. The first one was made for Emperor Sujin. So let me look up when he was alive.
Okay.
Because this is how far back this goes. He's the first emperor whose existence historians actually accept. Come on Wikipedia, open. Okay, 147 BC.
That's a long time
He has the
ago.
first one, and it's still there, dog. Okay?
Wow.
So the story is that he met Amaterasu. He's a Japanese sun goddess and a major deity, and he came down and impregnated somebody, right? Which would be the Emperor Sujin, was born from this god. But how did he get into the room to bang his mom? Through a keyhole. So the ski hole is like, if you look up the amount of these that are on Japan's island, it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But look at this. So someone did the black and white like negative photo
Mm-hmm.
of one of these Kofun tombs versus the one on Mars. Dog?
Oof.
Dog?
That's. But look at the little bit of a resemblance too on the Mars one in the face. Doesn't it kind of bring your brain to some stuff that you maybe see in Egypt? A little bit of that
Oh,
face.
for sure. I saw the mummy. Remember whenever the sand
Yep.
was in the face, and that's what that thing on the Mars looks like?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Which are around pyramids in a very familiar face.
I guess this is a good question. No, I guess no. I just answered my own question. I'm like, why is everything always about Egyptian stuff? And then boom, Japan. I don't know why I said it like that, like
Japan.
a real country, but Japan. These Japanese.
I'm gonna cook some muffins tonight. Can you get Japan for me?
Is it wrong to say the Japanese? You've heard people say those Japanese down there.
Yeah. I'm just talking about.
But how come we never hear about because there's pyramids all in South America, dog. Well, how come there's no UFO stuff linked to that, or is there?
Well, there is. Oh yeah.
Oh, add that to the list. We're gonna learn about that.
Oh, there's a lot. And what's wild too is now that they have the technology, where maybe there's the drones, but they have I forget the name of the technology, but they can more or less see through the jungles now, and they're able to easily detect all these ancient civilizations that are pyramids, the walls, the tombs, the burial sites, everything.
I have a problem with that. Why haven't they taken that to the Pacific Northwest?
Who says they haven't?
Well, we'd have heard of Bigfoot by now.
Would you?
Nobody's saying that he doesn't exist. If they have, everybody says it's because the Pacific Northwest is too thick of woods, and I don't believe that for a second.
That wood's thick.
Yeah, that would be thick.
Maybe it all ties together. Maybe it's not Bigfoot. Maybe it's one of these tall, thin things from Mars that have just evolved and said it's nice. I'm just going to rock some hair.
Anunnaki, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to read up on Anunnaki, dude. It kind of makes sense if you put your mind at another place.
So for those that don't, you got some notes. Talk about it. How are we're in conspiracy zone.
The theory I'm reading this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Humans on Earth were first created by the Arcturians and were then developed by the Anunnaki. Later, the slave race of the Anunnaki took some humans to Mars and had intercourse with those humans. Word. Ripped a few in half, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
People from Mars were from Earth. Later, civilization on Mars fought each other, wars after wars, and destroyed their surface and had to take refuge on Earth again. Martians were Earthlings and became Earthlings again, albeit a slightly genetic makeup, right? Because now we had a little bit of Anunnaki in us in more ways than one.
Do you see that on Me-23 or whatever those things are where you spit in a tube and send it out?
Yeah, isn't there like a percentage that's unknown?
Yeah. Guess
that's
what
that
it is.
Anunnaki, dude. I'm telling you.
Boom.
We're all giants in our own part. That's the name of my self-help book. We're all giants in our
And the only reason why we're a little bit, smaller here is because the gravity. They're taller there. There's less gravity.
Good point.
Hmm. Maybe
Good
that's
point.
All right.
I like that.
If it's only 420 miles, they can get back and forth. No, it's 420 million miles. But if it only takes 11 months by our technology in the 70s and 80s, how quick do you think that they can really get there?
11 months is when they got Scorsese to make it up to the studio. Hold on. I just thought of something.
Hold them. Yeah.
I just lost my thought. Come on now.
Come on now. Come back.
You said it came when you said something about gravity. Gravity.
Lower gravity. That's why we're shorter. I think it's gone. You lost it.
Do you think that? Okay. This is a hot take.
Hot
take. Just invented this thought just now. And It's still coming to me as I speak.
Okay.
You know how animals, whenever they're, a giraffe, when it's born, drops about 6 feet. First thing, hits the ground, and it can walk immediately. Yet it takes us humans how long to learn how to walk? Do you think it's because we haven't evolved to because the gravity's heavier, because we were used to, maybe we could walk immediately on Mars?
Maybe. And there's no fear. You know what I mean? It's not like a lot of those learn to adapt over time, because if they like those little sea turtles, they're just thrown in the ocean, learning how to swim and just survive, trying to survive.
They are on the shores of Normandy from the second they come out of that U-boat of an egg. It's so bad.
And then us, we're humans. We're, in our mind, the highest on the food chain. Nothing's there to get us, even though some people, conspiracy theory, think that the only reason the aliens are keeping us alive is so they can feed on us when they need to later. I mean,
one of the reasons that we went with the Anunnaki, because they need gold. Their planet was dying. It's powered by gold. They needed us to mine gold. There's a theory that we still give gold to the Anunnaki today. I just dropped that little bomb for you. Just drop that. Sit on that. Sit on that for a second. It's so good. It's so good. Look into the Anunnaki. I know a lot about this.
Yeah. Maybe we just do a whole episode on them. Well, if you guys want to do that and hear that, please let us know. I mean, we could go conspiracy all day. Let's hit them before we get out of here. Let's hit them a little bit of the science on searching for life from Mars before we say goodbye. Do you want to do that real quick?
Yeah, I do.
So, I mean, not only the science fiction, obviously, I feel like people love science fiction. It sparks the imagination. But today,
Operation Stargate turned into a movie with Kurt Russell. Stargate.
People love it.
Yep.
Science fiction, but they had some documents. But either way, they're trying to, I guess NASA in their Perseverance rover is exploring. Time out.
Do you think they're toying with us, dude? The government?
Yes.
I didn't know that there was an Operation Stargate whenever Stargate came out, the movie. And I enjoyed that movie. Then I found out later in life there was Operation Stargate. But we're supposed to be like, nothing came of it. We stopped funding it.
Do you think the government's not messing with us? Did you not live through COVID?
In Operation Stargate, they went to like the Egyptian god. No, in the movie Stargate, they went to the Egypt. Oh.
Hey, you know what you need to have those substances and rewatch that as well while you're watching it. And then we'll do a recap.
Now my brain hurts. I wasn't expecting this today.
Yep. Yeah. No, okay, my brain just went a different route too.
I just scrambled my brain, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, science.
No.
Science,
yeah, we're gonna hit him with some science. Well, we don't have to think because we're not scientists. We can just hit you with some facts. The NASA's Perseverance rover is exploring Jezero Crater, which is a dried up lake bed with clear evidence of a river delta. Clear evidence. Because, and why is this significant? Because river deltas on Earth are teeming with life and organic material. So apparently they've already kind of identified intriguing organic compounds in rock samples, which could have some biosignatures. These aren't proof of life, though, before you're going, but they are chemical traces that could be tied to biological processes, which could in turn potentially, I guess, from what I'm understanding,
it would be gigantic if we just found dead bacteria. Just because we knew something has lived there before, and we can figure that out.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if there's water, there's life. I mean, that's what we've always been told. It would be, I guess, wild to me that there's water and no life. Does that mean a big cover-up, or does that mean the fact that, oh, crap, maybe something could happen in our own water, in our own world, where life could stop existing? Because everybody tells you our bodies are made up of water. Most of the Earth is water. Water is important. Euban's been living for almost 35 years, and he barely has any water.
Barely has water.
Maybe the answer is Sprite.
Can we get a Sprite planet? Yeah, man. I mean, there's a way to destroy planets. We know this. But, I mean, it goes back to what the wars upon the stars, wars in the stars. And the Anunnaki were in wars, destroyed the planet. That's they came back here. And this story's been around long before nuclear bombs was a thing.
Yeah. speaking of mysteries, they apparently have found methane on Mars, which we think methane farts, cow poop. We've talked about how methane can actually fuel energy and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
on Earth, 90% of methane actually comes from living organisms. So, but it can be produced geologically, and scientists are kind of debating whether Mars methane is from microbes or something on the Earth itself.
Wait, does methane come out of volcanoes by chance?
I'd have to imagine some of it with the lava and the way that the
Well,
gas released, but
maybe it's because of the lack of tectonic plates and all that stuff, and
it's just boiling up
it's
like a
just
pimple.
building up in there. Yeah, I don't know, dude. And I'm just, I'm still leaning on the Anunnaki. I hope that they're underground, starting fires down there, dude. Let's go. Let's go. They drink lava. Let's go.
Listen to this. So volcanoes can emit small amounts of methane, but they are not considered a major source of methane.
Okay.
The majority of methane does come from biological processes like decomposition of wetlands and agricultural activities, with some contribution from deep sea mud. So again, dried up water, lots of methane. Hey, interesting, right?
If they found oil, that would be the game. We'd be there tomorrow. We'd be on Mars drilling tomorrow.
The world would be.
Bruce Willis be damned. We're getting there, dude.
Elon's like, hey, I already got the oil tankers to come back. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if we had year-round oil production coming from space, that'd be wild. Although to shoot a rocket and land one with flames and oil, they'd have to come up with some pretty interesting containers.
I mean, I would have to assume that the fuels on a rocket ship is more combustible than oil.
I would think, yeah.
Because I think you can toss a match in oil and it's not going to explode. I think. I might be lying.
I'm not going to try it. Nobody else should try that, yeah.
I might be lying. I need to look that up. So, you know what? I'm going to say that I'm wrong.
We're going to chalk it up as we're a bunch of idiots again.
Yeah. They'll let me get away with that on Rumble.
But here's a kind of a mind-blowing, let's go with hypothesis. That seems like a scientific fancy word. And a little bit of a theory to maybe chew on. If life did exist on Mars, could it have been seeded on Earth throughout meteorite impacts? Like Mars rocks, like the ALH 84001, look that up if you guys want to, was actually found in Antarctica, which contains structures that some scientists actually believe to be fossilized bacteria, which means if it's true, Earth and Mars might actually share biological connections.
Do you have what year that thing was found?
The ALH.
Yeah. As if it's the same one I think of. I think they thought it was just part of a comet. Thus, it sat in Houston for a while at the space, whatever.
96.
And, yeah. So I think it sat there for a while before someone decided to look into it. And they're like, huh.
Maybe we should.
Yeah. They thought it was just like a comet or an asteroid. I think if that's the same one.
So this is the Allen Hills, which the ALH 84001. It's a fragment of a Martian meteorite that was found in the Allen Hills in Antarctica in December 27, 1984 is when it was found. But then in 96, the NASA scientist announced that it contained evidence of that bacteria. So, I mean, that's 12 years.
Yeah. It sat in a room. They thought it was something else. That's wild.
Isn't that wild? Imagine what broke down. But yeah, it had all the structures that resembled bacteria. But could they... man, that's wild. I mean, was there life on Mars? But then it's, obviously we're going to get out of here in a minute, but there's so many other theories. And again, these are theories and stuff from the trip where they got those polar ice caps almost like we do. And they're saying, hey, why aren't... maybe underneath all of that stuff is water. Maybe there is a whole what's the word I'm looking for? Not a city, but a whole, not community.
Civilization?
A whole civilization living under what we can physically see. Maybe they're living under those keyholes. Maybe they're living in those...
kind of like this hollow earth that we're living in.
Yeah.
Next conspiracy.
So do you believe? Is there life on Mars?
I do.
Yeah.
Did you hear that loud bang just now? It was my child.
Oh.
Probably her head.
Ooh, allegedly.
I believe. No, I
I believe.
believe that. I don't know if I believe in the underground, whatever. I
Hmm.
believe that something was there at a time. And I think they're very well. I mean, it's a big planet, dude.
Yeah.
We have one rover there the size of a Mini Cooper. It's going to
Yeah,
take a
that's
while to explore it, you know?
and like kind of like we talked about, and I truly believe that if there was life there and there was advanced civilizations that could build pyramids and everything else, I guarantee you they were able to come up with some space stuff, and it wouldn't be that hard for them to potentially be here. And maybe it's us on a different planet. It's not that far to believe that at one point maybe great grandpa lived on Mars.
I want to believe that. I want
I
to
wanted
believe. I
to.
want to believe that I'm a Martian. That'd be sweet.
I mean, technically we are, right? I mean, we're in the solar system on a planet.
Well, I mean, Martian specifically is talking about Mars.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think we
So
came from that. But what's wild too, as we get out of there, I mean, Elon Musk is trying to be able to send humans there by 2030. It's almost 2020. At the time of this comes out, it's almost 2025. Within 5 years.
that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, the goal there is to be able to send some people there, create a self-sustaining colony in Mars, and have another program there. They're working on the what is it, the Artemis program or something like that, which could be a stepping stone to get us up
That's
there.
gotta be why you got into politics out of nowhere.
Uh,
Gotta be.
it's crazy to think about.
That's oh man, this is gonna be exciting next 4 years, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
Trump dog is gonna bring the thunder.
lightning and the thunder.
Oh
On that
man.
note, this episode was lightning. I'll be the lightning, you be the thunder, because you're hearing the loud noises. But it's awesome. We're gonna come back with another one next week. Maybe we talk about the civilization he wants. Maybe we kind of just decide and then just go in, and then that's what we do. But
This was an odd one. And I think we nailed this one, and we did this
I
one
think we
kind
nailed
of
it.
in a hurry. Nah, I
Yeah,
like this.
this was good. Well, we'll put our thinking cap on because of the holidays. We've been forced to do a lot of podcasts in a little amount of time.
Oh yeah. So much
But we've done a
eggnog.
good job of not blending too much together, which is kind of cool. But either way, we'll see you next week. As always, if you want a suggestion or something, or you're like, hey, I want you idiots to think of this or cover this and put your take on it, just let us know. Shoot an email to matt@beardlaws.com. Put something on the any of the socials. Comment it. We're checking things out, and we'll
Yeah, be nicer on the socials.
yeah,
For real.
2025, new year, new you. Be nice. Say something
Super
nice.
sober, dude. Super
Super
sober.
sober. Check out the shirt coming soon to a shop near you. BeardLawStudios.com. All right, thanks to all the friends of the show. Check out the links in the description. And we're out of here. I got nothing else, you.
Toodaloo.
Okay, bye.